So I've been using my Steam controller for quite a while now, and I honestly love it. There are a couple of things I really don't like, so let's talk about it. So let's start with the ergonomics. I really like the way the grips are. I think it fits my hand nice, and a lot of people say that they think it'll be too tall, and so your hand won't be able to close. That's actually not an issue, surprisingly. And then the buttons and the joysticks, I feel like I can reach both of them with my thumbs very easily, which is very nice instead of having to reach down like you do on most controllers. And then the back buttons, I feel like my fingers just kind of naturally rest right where they are. And then they're not too hard to press, but they're not so easy that you're accidentally pushing them all the time, like on the ROG Ally. So those are great. I use those all the time. And then as far as button feel goes, they all just feel great. None of them are too loud. The bumpers are really quiet. Face buttons you can kind of hear a little bit. And then the D-pad. This is hands down the best D-pad I've ever used on any controller. Its pivot is excellent. I have never once had it accidentally go the wrong direction, so that's super nice. I generally don't prefer D-pads. Ever since I got this controller, I've been heavily preferring the D-pad for a lot of games. And then the joysticks are TMR, which is like a Hall effect in the way that it's magnetic, but TMR is just a little bit more precise, so they will not drift. And then the trackpads are kind of like the main feature of this controller, and I actually really like them. I think the haptics on it feel amazing. It's super customizable. You can turn the haptics off, you can turn them all the way up. The trackpad's customizability all the way around and what you can do is just endless. There's so much you can do. I really like it. As far as the use cases for the trackpads go, for games like Balatro or Slay the Spire, they're really nice because you get an actual mouse. For shooters, I think it's nice for aiming because you can be just as precise as with the mouse. And then you can also look fast if you enable trackball mode, because then you can kind of flick it around. So it's really nice. I could make a whole video about trackpads. The puck, the wireless puck for the controller, is super nice. I do notice the low latency of it. And then it also charges it. And I have a under desk mount that I've 3D printed that my controller just sets on, so I don't know how well the battery lasts because mine is just always plugged in, but I hear it's pretty good. So what's the downside of this controller? Hardware wise, I don't really think there is a downside. It's, at least for me, just perfect in pretty much every possible way. But it requires Steam for the main driver, which makes sense. But if you don't have Steam running, then it acts as a keyboard and mouse, which is nice if you have like a living room PC and then you're in Windows and you want to open Steam and navigate to your games, and then you'll launch a game and it'll start acting like a controller. The downside is that then on devices where there is no Steam, you can't use the controller. So I can't hook it to my phone. You can't use it with any consoles or anything else that you might hope to. And then even with devices with Steam, for non-Steam games, I found that on SteamOS it tends to work really well. I didn't really test on Windows because I don't use Windows because I don't use trash. And then on my Mac, I don't really game, but I did do some testing. And for non-Steam games, it was hit or miss whether it'll work well. And then even some Steam games on my Mac, like Brawlhalla, I could not get it to work. They do update the firmware for this controller pretty frequently, and compatibility for various games has already increased so much since I've gotten it, and there have been so many bugs that have been fixed. So I do think they will figure all this stuff out eventually. Never buy something based on what it's promised to be. Buy it for how good the product is today. Is it a good product for today? Yes. As long as the primary devices you game on use Steam, then yes, it is an incredible controller. I would highly recommend it. If you want to play games on your phone, or it's like a non-negotiable for you, then no, it's not quite there yet. But if not, it is the best controller I've ever used. Thanks for watching.